Streaming worldwide, this is the Gospel America Television Network. It's time for Real Talk with the Jenkins, featuring Lady MJ, Pastor Marcella Jenkins, and Dr. G, Dr. Gary Jenkins. And now, let's join Real Talk with the Jenkins. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk with the Jenkins. I'm Dr. G.
I'm Lady MJ.
And we are the Jenkins. Now, Lady MJ, we got a special guest. She is a wonderful person working in the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office, and she is the Crisis Intervention Assistant Coordinator.
Yes.
For the Crisis Intervention Unit, in the person of Angelina Mack, aka Angel. Hey, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, we're happy to have you. So talk to us about the Crisis Intervention Unit. What is it and what is it all about?
Our office assists victims of violent crimes, homicide, suicide, domestic violence. There's an array of situations that could arise, and we could be of some help. We've got plenty of resources.
Okay, so if you are the victim of abuse, especially family abuse, spousal abuse.
Yes, sir.
If you are the victim of spousal abuse or any kind of abuse, there is help for you. You have the right to contact the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office Crisis Intervention Unit, and we're going to go into more detail on that in a moment. You're watching Real Talk with the Jenkins. I'm Dr. G.
I'm Lady MJ.
And we are the Jenkins. Real Talk with the Jenkins. We'll be right back after these messages.
My name is Travis with Gray's Transmissions. Here at Gray's Transmissions, we have a reputation for customer service, and we've been serving the San Angelo area for over 45 years. Our focus is you, the customer. So whether you need a diagnostic check or a complete transmission service repair, we're here for you. Gray's Transmissions, where service meets quality, and that's our #1 priority.
We are here when you need us.
Gray's Transmissions, 1202 Pulliam Street, San Angelo.
I'm Dr. Leon. I'm an independent interventional cardiologist practicing in San Angelo over the last 18 years. This room is our endovascular suite. This is the first outpatient cath lab in Concho Valley. We perform invasive procedures to improve the blood flow to the patient's legs, arteries, and veins. We have all the equipment we need to perform these procedures very safely in these outpatient settings. We can perform atherectomy, which means remove the build-up plaque from the arteries of the legs, do balloon angioplasty, implant stents if needed, and we have all the technologies that the major medical centers have required to perform these procedures.
Call Cardiology Associates of West Texas at 325-944-1240. And now back to Real Talk with MJ and Dr. G. We're back, and you're watching Real Talk with the Jenkins. Our special guest is Angelina Mack, who is the Assistant Coordinator for the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office Crisis Intervention Unit, aka CIU. Sounds like a spy agency, but anyway. But they're there to help people who are victims of abuse. Now, we're on the light side, but this is a serious issue. And it's important for people to know where they can go to get help. What do you think about that, Lady MJ?
Yeah, it's very interesting, all the different crises that they deal with. Homicide, DUI crashes, sexual assault, suicide, robbery, family violence, stalking, natural disasters, unexpected death, child abuse, or even adult abuse.
Wow. So that's a lot of different categories for your office to deal with. So talk to us. How do you deal with? Let's take me from A to Z. You get a phone call. Somebody's, a victim of abuse, whether it's domestic violence or whether it's something else. You get the phone call. What happens after you get that phone call?
We will call dispatch. We will get our information. We will rile up our team. We have a total of 25 volunteers that assist myself and the coordinator, and we will go to the residents, to the hospital, wherever this victim may feel safe at the moment in time, to give us all the information that we can in order to write an emergency protective order for them.
So when they get the call, when you get the call from the victim, I assume you're giving them some information on what they can do is get the help they need, which includes, as you said, getting a protection order written
Yes, sir.
to protect them. Okay, you hear a lot of talk about these so-called protection orders because it's a piece of paper. And there have been many instances where people have violated those protection orders. And I know of a couple cases, I won't mention them obviously, but I know of a couple cases where a protection order was written and the perpetrator did not abide by the protection order, and which caused serious injury to the victim. How can you reinforce the protection of people who are victims of violence?
Well, you see, Pastor Jenkins, there's different kinds of protective orders.
Oh, okay.
There's restraining orders, there's an emergency protective order, there's long-term protective orders, and there's ex partes. Emergency protective orders are what our office writes.
Okay.
And when those come into play, they are criminally enforceable when the suspect has violated those instructions given by the bondsman and given by the judge at arraignment.
Wow. So the emergency protective order, which your office writes, has a little teeth in it of enforcement,
Yes.
so that the perpetrator can be arrested and be charged with, what is it, contempt of court, violation of the restraining order? What's the actual charge?
Violation of an emergency protective order, determining what part of the emergency protective order he violated. Where in the emergency protective order, there's addresses listed that this suspect cannot go around. Well, if they are seen there within an X amount of radius that the judge writes, the victim calls 911, identifies the situation, says this person is here, I have an emergency protective order, and when officers show up on scene, they're able to arrest the suspect, and then they go to jail for a violation.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I know years ago, this is in Connecticut, there was a situation at a barber shop where there was a gun shooting, and there was a young boy in there that actually saw who did it. And they wanted to put her in the protection, put him and the mother into protective services.
I think it was witness protection.
Witness protection.
Witness protection.
Yeah,
they ran.
witness protection. And the mother denied it.
Or declined it.
Declined it. And because of that, the shooter and his brother was watching them, go in and out of their homes, and they came home with groceries and they killed them.
And
so my question here is, when somebody needs protective service, something like that, and they decline it, then what do you do?
With emergency protective orders and our family violence unit, that is the whole definition. Family violence, and you have to establish a relationship, dating, familiar, again, family orientated, even a roommate situation, because you were in a cohabitation. We're able to establish a relationship.
Okay. So, all right, now you mentioned there are different types of restraining orders or protective orders. I didn't know that. I thought there was just, one that's a blanket across the board kind of thing where the perpetrator cannot come within so many feet of the victim or whatever. Can you reiterate that again, the different ones, so that we can kind of focus on that a little bit.
Yes, sir. So an emergency protective order is a right here, right now. At the scene of the crime, once the suspect has been arrested, our unit will come out, interview with the victim, then take paperwork to the jail, and the judge will, during arraignment, will issue the emergency protective order. It's a right here, right now. This is happening. Long-term protective orders will come in after the victim has decided, you know what, I feel safe with the emergency protective order. I feel that is in the best interest of me and my family, that I am protected for a longer period of time. So that's what a long-term protective order is.
Well, all right. Well, all right. So now the victim has the protective order, and it's in force. The perpetrator is abiding by it. How long does the protective order last? Is there a set time, or does a protective order expire at a certain period of time, or does it just goes on indefinitely?
Depending on the information that the judge has been given, an emergency protective order can last anywhere from 31 to 91 days, whereas a long-term protective order can last a year, 5 years, up to a lifetime, depending on the circumstances.
Okay. Well, let's talk some more about some of the things that you and your office is doing. Let's see. I'm going down your brochure here. It's not because I'm all that smart. I'm just looking at the brochure here. Very nice brochure, by the way. And if you'd like to pick one up just to find out, how can people get one of these? I mean, this is a really cool thing you've got here.
Yes, well, our office is located at 17 South Chadburn, Suite 102.
Okay. So, and they can come and pick one of these up and talk to you or any member of your staff about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's talk about power and control model. That's in your brochure. What does that mean, power and control model? You have different, I guess, scenarios here and some tactics. So can you fill us in on that and talk to us a little bit about that?
Physical, sexual, emotional, not sharing love or affection with a partner, if it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, withholding that emotion. You do for me and I will do for you. It's the power and control. Again, emotional plays with the mind. Look, I love you, sweetheart, dear. And then verbal abuse is in the power control too. The way they talk to you in the day-to-day, very kind, sweet, and then it can transfer into very harsh words, and it's just shocking. And all of that is part of the power and control.
Okay. So what about something that's real sensitive, and that's fear for children? I believe that's makes it a little deeper, a little more serious, because when there's violence in the home, and as a former police officer, and I've dealt with that kind of stuff, and you got little children in the home, that's not only hard for the children and hard for the parents, it's even hard for police officers responding to something like that. So talk to me a little bit about what steps are taken on behalf of children to make sure they're going to be okay.
Well, one thing our office advocates on with our victims is during these very delicate times in their life, it's reassurance for them, especially when CPS comes in to aid us. If the person who has been abused emotionally, physically, mentally, we make it a point to encourage and assure them that when we have to step in and call CPS, it is on their behalf to help them, not to harm them. Letting CPS know that this person has reached out to the sheriff's office, has reached out to the police department, trying to help themselves, save them from their perpetrator and save their kids. So to exit the fear of what their suspect has put inside their head. Well, if you don't love me, if you don't keep your mouth hushed, then I'm going to call CPS. And that's where we step in to help build that reassurance that it's okay. As long as they're helping themselves, we will advocate for them to the best of our ability.
So what happens if you have a child that has some mental issues and maybe the parent no longer can control? They've been trying different mechanisms, they've been taken to the behavior clinic, Shannon Behavior Clinic, they're back in the home, but they behave well when they're at the clinic. When they get back in the home, is when they act out. So can that parent reach out to the Sheriff's Crisis Unit?
Yes, ma'am, they can definitely reach out to us, and we have a multitude of resources to help them assist in their crisis at that moment.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to go to a commercial break. We're talking about the Crisis Intervention Unit at the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office with our special guest, Angelina Mack. We'll be back in a moment.
Real Talk with the Jenkins. We'll be right back after these messages.
My name is Travis with Gray's Transmissions. Here at Gray's Transmissions, we have a reputation for customer service, and we've been serving the San Angelo area for over 45 years. Our focus is you, the customer. So whether you need a diagnostic check or a complete transmission service repair, we're here for you. Gray's Transmissions, where service meets quality, and that's our #1 priority. We are here when you need us.
Gray's Transmissions, 1202 Pulliam Street, San Angelo.
I'm Dr. Leon. I'm an independent interventional cardiologist practicing in San Angelo over the last 18 years. This room is our endovascular suite. This is the first outpatient cath lab in Concho Valley. We perform invasive procedures to improve the blood flow to the patient's legs, arteries, and veins. We have all the equipment we need to perform these procedures very safely in these outpatient settings. We can perform atherectomy, which means remove the build-up plaque from the arteries of the legs, do balloon angioplasty, implant stents if needed, and we have all the technologies that the major medical centers have required to perform these procedures.
Call Cardiology Associates of West Texas at 325-944-1240. Are you ready to produce your own TV show? If it's a television commercial you need, then the Gospel America Television Network Studios is the place where your visual vision comes alive. You can meet with your production team in our warm and comfortable suite. And then you can start the production process using our green screen digital technology. Your broadcast will air on Roku, Fire TV, and online. We produce many types of TV commercials, like the Auto Pros Body Shop. Maybe you're looking to produce a medical commercial like the Office of Dr. Peter Chang. Pastors, you can produce your broadcast airing on Roku or Fire TV. Call 203-410-6053 for studio booking. The Gospel America TV Network. And now back to Real Talk with MJ and Dr. G.
We're back, and we have our special guest here on Let's Talk with the Jenkins, and it's Angel, we call her Angel for short, Mack. And there is a lot of crisis out there that people don't know how to deal with. And so as I was talking about before, like sometimes you may call the police each time that person threatens you, but after a while the police get tired of coming. Because once the police comes, the person denies that they even did that.
Or they don't want to press charges or something like that.
So is this where they can call the crisis center off, like when everything is calmed down and come to you and say, okay, this is what's going on in my home. What's my step? What do I need to do?
Yes, very well. That is exactly why we have an office. So when they are in those times and they're going through the flood of emotions, they call 911. They don't call 911, and they take the moment to sleep it off, and then the next day they realize, okay, yes, maybe I may need some help. We are there to listen to everything, to help them construct what they need to help themselves with, and then we will walk them through the process, whether it's filling out a timeline, filling out a county attorney's packet, even transporting them to the family shelter or to the hospital, just to be there to make them feel comfortable in that moment to complete in helping themselves.
I got a question for you, Angelina. When a restraining order or a protective order has been issued, and a family, they have family finances, and one or sometimes both are contributing to getting the bills paid. How do you handle that? How do you deal with families who are being separated by a protection order and the responsibilities that are necessary to carry out the welfare of the family? How do you guys deal with that?
Well, we have some local resources here in San Angelo, Tom Green County area. The Family Shelter will help. The Concho Valley Community Actions Agency, they will also help. There's also a program called the Crime Victims Compensation, and they will assist in counseling, reimbursement of relocation if the victim and the family have to leave their home because of their suspect. They will come in and help after filling out an application in our office.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Well, we certainly want to thank you for taking the time to be with us on Real Talk with the Jenkins, and we wish you continued success in all that you're doing to help people deal with various crises in their families.
And before we close, do you have anything that you want to expound upon that maybe the community should know about?
Please reach out to us. It is okay. Our office, again, is located at 17 South Chadburn, Suite 102. Telephone number 325-227-8753. We are there, open ears, willing to listen to anything that you need to get off your chest.
Well, thank you so much. And we're going to put that information on the screen, so there it is. You can see it. If you need help, if you need to contact anybody, if you are the victim of domestic violence of any kind, contact the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office, and you'll get the help that you need from the Crisis Intervention Unit there in the office. We want to thank you for taking the time to be with us. We want to thank you for inviting us into your homes this week. You're watching Real Talk with the Jenkins. I'm Dr. G.
I'm Lady MJ, and we are the Jenkins.
Broadcasting worldwide to every nation, this is the Gospel America Television Network. Broadcasting to every nation on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and online at gospelamerica.net. Hello, I'm Gary Jenkins, president of the Gospel America Television Network. We're working hard to provide streaming service to pastors worldwide to share the good news of Jesus Christ with people in every nation. And here's one of our broadcast partners to tell you more about us.
I'm Pastor Pope of Galilee Missionary Baptist Church, and we as a church have had the pleasure of being affiliated with Gospel America Network for the last 2 years. And I'll tell you that it is wonderful to know that we are able to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to a worldwide audience. Not so that we can lift up our name, but that we can lift up the name of Jesus. I mean, the Lord has blessed us. I mean, we're not a huge, large church with a giant budget, but working with Apostle Gary Jenkins and the Gospel America Network, he was able to find a way for us to be able to come to a worldwide audience without having to break the bank. Come to a worldwide audience each week and to share the good news, to fellowship with the world, to let the world know that Jesus is alive. So I have to tell you that for us, being with Gospel America Network is something that we would not trade for the world. We are so thankful that God has blessed us with this particular opportunity, and we look forward to continuing our relationship with Gospel America. Why? Because the Lord has told us that we are to go out into the highways and the byways and the hedges, and that we are to bring them in. Well, what better way to do that than use all of the means that God has given us? Gospel America Network is one of those means. Apostle, I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity. May God bless you all, and may God keep you. Amen.
If you'd like to know more about broadcasting on the Gospel America Television Network, give us a call at 203-410-6053. And you can email us at gospelamericachannel@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we're so grateful to Pastor John Pope and all of the folks at the Galilee Missionary Baptist Church in San Angelo.
This is the Gospel America Television Network, broadcasting worldwide on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and online at www.gospelamerica.net. Download our app from the App Store or from Google Play and watch us on your tablet or smartphone 24 hours a day.
Streaming worldwide, this is the Gospel America Television Network.